Hey, so today I want to talk about Marvel's 2021 offering Eternals, directed by Chloe Zhao, written by Chloe Zhao, Farpo Brothers, and someone else. I can't really remember, sorry. But Eternals was supposed to be released in 2020. It got pushed back along with Shang-Chi, and now it's finally here. For some context of this story, actually, Farpos were shipping the screenplay of this film for some time around Hollywood, and somehow it got morphed into Eternals, and that is what I found most interesting about this film. I just wanted to know the story and the screenplay of this film, so that's what actually kind of piqued most of my interest. Now, other than that, this film has everything going for it. This film stars a plethora of actors who are like ginormously famous. It has like Richard Madden, Angela Jolie, Salma Hayek, Kit Harington, and other than that, Kumail Nanjiani, Dom Siok, and a lot of other people. But what also kind of drives it home and what kind of people were about is that Chloe Zhao. Chloe Zhao just won Oscar, like what 6 7 months ago, and now we're here. Even though Marvel sort of did not actually plan that because the way originally Internals was supposed to be released, she wouldn't have had her Oscar run, but now here we are. I have sort of had a theory that Marvel does not want their directors to be this kind of famous. It kind of feels like that it kind of delineates the whole point of the film, and la di da, I'm also doing that, and that's what it is. So we're gonna put all of that aside. We're just gonna see the film and some other context because this film kind of needs a lot of context. This film is the worst reviewed Marvel film. This is the worst reviewed Marvel film. It's also rotten on Rotten Tomatoes, and the audience also did not kind of, you know, look very fondly with this. So this film has miles to go. So what happened? With this much powerhouse, both in front of camera and behind camera, and the mismatch of the reception that it has, what went wrong? So first, I would like to say that I don't think a lot of things went wrong. I like this film. I like this film. I give this film 4 out of 5. So if you just want to see it for a recommendation, I strongly recommend it. If you have watched a lot of Marvel films, there's no reason to not watch this film or not kind of glance this over. I watched this film in a theater. It's a tremendous theater experience. The score of Ramin Djawadi is actually very good. He's was the scorer of Game of Thrones. So if you'll have those kind of thing, or this film has like huge orchestral sound, if you like that, yeah, you definitely like this film. You should go watch it. But now, after the recommendation, I would like to say that yeah, I enjoy this film, but this film has quite a bit of inconsistencies. First of all, namely, in my country, Bangladesh, where I saw they censored two of the scenes, which I believe was kind of has some uh, queer characters kissing, and other than that, I think there was also a sex scene between the main characters. So they did not let it. So for me, this is like as Marvel as it gets. I did not get to see that much of a willy nilly or kind of that kind of gets out of my mind that this is not a Marvel film because Shang-Chi did. Shang-Chi, after a certain degree, I felt like was completely unlike any Marvel film that I've ever seen. At a certain point, I had to like remind me, okay, this is a Marvel film. They did not do it. Did this veered off into some kind of kung fu hustle and other sort of genre bending martial arts film kind of thing. And Eternals does not delineate that much. It strictly stays in lane because we have seen Thor Ragnarok, we have the Guardians of the Galaxy, we've had Thanos and whatnot. We have a lot of cosmic context in Marvel, but not like this because the Celestial are a big part of this film. So are the Eternals and the Deviants. And on the point of Deviants, they are very bad villains. They are the worst villains ever. Marvel is once again regressing in the villain line. They haven't done this for a long time, but they are once again here. After the villain we've had in Shang-Chi and the complex character that Shang-Chi had is with his father, the Mandarin, we should not be getting this. The deviants are bad. They're just bad. There's no two way about it. I had an idea that they should have made the deviants like kind of the counterpart of it. Like every character or some of the characters should be playing double roles, or they should have just equally divided because there are 10 Eternals and all of them are bona fide stars. They should have kind of cherry picked them like 5 Eternals, 5 Deviants. I think that would make a lot more interesting, and in that way they can divide up a lot of characters. But this neither here nor not there. But the issue is the characters are mindless, just characters. because there are three parties, the Celestial, Eternals, and the Deviants. So there's a lot of other Vegas rooms, because we have to see how these characters interplays off of each other, and in that way I believe they have tried to use this and utilize it in some way, but I don't think it's quite that way that they would have liked it. But it's okay, fine. The villain is just bad in this film. So are in this like more than 20 Marvel films. What's wrong with this film is that this film's editing. This film's editing is jarring. Like, it abruptly cuts to an end. It when it's sort of the volition, the momentum of this scene has not even completed, and it's like another scene, and you know, like, okay, what the hell happened? And even when in a scene, particularly in one scene where the whole thing kind of seamlessly integrates, and then a different scene occurs, you're sort of confused, like, okay, did the scene change? Oh, okay, what's happening? So that seems to be a lot of it. I really want to know, like, how involved Chloe Zhao was in the editing process, and what was the mind behind it, because this film is fragmented. This feels like a long-winded epic film. It's already like 2.5 hours long. So it's like a long film. I feel like they would have shot like 4 or 5 times worth of scenes than this, but nothing made it. But this is where we are. So in that way, it's kind of sad that we have to like go this far and then come in a way where that Marvel sort of slip and slide like this. It's just bizarre. But it's no way the worst Marvel film. There are a lot of other contenders. Trust me, it's not. Eternals is not one of the worst Marvel offerings. It's one of the weirdest Marvel offerings. It's strongly remembered. The score will kind of stay with you. The visuals, if you see it, it will impact you if you see it in a big screen in a theater. But if you see it at your home, I don't think that's going to make you're going to take away that much. I have to sort of see it in my home when it's released on VODs, but for now I can't really talk about it. I can only talk about the theater experience. It's a really good theater experience. I strongly recommend it, because no matter what, it's a Marvel film. If you're in a Marvel camp or you have seen all the Marvel films, you can watch it seamlessly, because it's an experience. It's a really weird experience, and I think it's a good experience overall for me. I can't say for everybody, but I think you will sort of, if you go with a positive outlook and just appreciate that amount of talent that is involved in this film, I think you'll like it. And if not, you're like a casual film goer, you can watch Dune. Dune is a better film than this. It's almost always in the same way. If you have just watched Dune and want to see something in that same way, this is the right film for you. And if you don't want to see any of it, I think you should just watch Blade Runner 2049, because that is just better film than it. That's neither here nor there. But yeah, the last thing I want to say is that it was a good film. It might not be great, one of Marvel's best effort, but it's neither one Marvel's weakest effort, because Thor, Underworld, and there's a lot of other Dark World. There's a lot of films that are not good, but you can watch this, and that's why I gave this film 4 out of 5. And I think if you watch it, I think you're going to enjoy it.